what a great gift it is to be here again. It just feels like I was here last week, how quickly the time goes, and just how important this time is for all of us to be here on the planet. As usual, when I come here, it's like I'm filled with this love, a very strong energy of Mother Mary here with us today in the Christ energy. So I know it's going to be a very important time for us to share here. And so it touches my heart full, filled with so much gratitude and filled with so much love. It always takes me by surprise, the beauty and the purity of the Pleiadian energies and the love of that Christ energy and that the presence of Mother Mary being here. It touches me deeply, fills my heart. And it feels like a very, very essential and important time for us to gather here together, to come into a state of fellowship, of acknowledging each other, and of this sacred connection that we all have, that sacred divine presence that we all carry inside of ourselves, that's sometimes very easy to forget in that third dimensional illusion of life, of what we call life. And yet life is such a teacher for us. It's such a teacher for that aspect of our humanness that we have all said yes to being here at this time, to have this very amazing experience of evolving through our human relationship with ourselves and embodying our spiritual selves consciously for the very first time on this earth plane. That's what we're doing here in this lifetime. That is our mission. And the energy, the strong energy of the illusion of third dimension is really starting to melt away. Part of that illusion, one of the biggest illusions we have as human beings, is being, working through the aspect of control, that we have control of our lives, we have control of our destiny. It's true, we do, but not through the ego mind's insistence of controlling or trying to control what's around us in our lives and trying to push the doors open, force doors open to where we think, or the ego mind thinks, we need to be going. It's like it creates or takes for us a time for us to surrender and trust, to move beyond that ego mind control that is a huge illusion. If we don't do something about it now, nothing's going to happen. Or something bad's going to happen if we don't just take action right now. They're the messages from the ego mind. Action, do something. You can't just sit there. No, we can't wait to be shown. Something has to happen now to save ourselves. Or we won't be saved, we won't be okay, we won't be provided for. They're the messages of the ego, And the fact is that the truth for this time, for us in our evolution, is to simply take a breath, let go, and to move into an alignment of understanding, of truth, and this is a truth, that there is an aspect of our higher natures, our higher selves, that has everything under control. That we are willing to open up to the experiences of our human selves, of what we've created for ourselves right in this moment of time, for our teaching. The teaching of us knowing more intimately that part of our humanness that is vulnerable, that maybe gets afraid, that we move back into that state of self-acceptance and self-love of our perfectly imperfect human part, and allow that higher self to direct us, to take us where we need to go. And that means we have to make a conscious choice of breathing, letting go, Not going with that knee-jerk reaction of that ego mind, constantly wanting to know, constantly wanting to understand. We know understanding is highly overrated. It's always from the ego mind, that need to understand. And the fact is we don't. And the ego mind will never understand that which is outside the illusion that is here on the earth plane. It will never be able to assimilate into understanding and receiving that, because it only knows the limited third dimensional illusion. So it's about us now holding that human ego with love and compassion, always, and saying, that's enough now. We're going to stop, we're going to wait. Through conscious choice, we're going to begin to breathe and align and trust that all is in hand, because it is. Because the higher nature of yourself is guiding you, is going to provide that which you need moment by moment. That is the truth. But we need to breathe and let go. To let go of that ego-mind dialogue. To let go of the need to make sense of what's taking place around you in your lives right now. To say, okay, I'm letting go and I'm trusting. Yes, I don't understand this or this or this, but I'm going to witness it, I'm going to breathe, I'm going to receive myself in the moment, and I'm going to unwrap the gifts that are unfolding in front of me to have my experience. They are my sacred creations that are right in front of me in order for me to unfold within myself. Because part of the sacred journey here is to have an in-depth understanding of the human element of who we are and embrace the imperfections, embrace the idiosyncrasies, to understand our fear, to honor the anger that arises when we go into fear, to hold ourselves with love and compassion as we understand and learn more about that human part that we are. The Pleiadians say, honor and love your humanness. Don't try and hide things under the carpet. Be willing to have the courage to hold yourself and identify that which you are in your vulnerable state as a human being. Because there's only a series of experiences here for us to learn about the depth of ourselves, the vulnerable parts of our humanness. And as we do that, and as we breathe and let go and trust the higher realm of ourselves in each moment, then we can start unfolding and changing our relationship to our humanness. And that control, the illusion that we're in control, that we know where we're going, it is an illusion. And if you think you know where you're going, you don't. You simply don't. Because this is a sacred unfolding of moment to moment. And it's about being present in the moment with all of the things around you. Yes, in your human life and in your spiritual connection to yourself. But the more you're willing to come into a state of acceptance of where you find yourself in your third dimensional life right now. Not letting the ego mind go into panic and fear and not knowing, oh my gosh, what are we going to do? We've got to do something here. No, you don't. You need to breathe, let go, and wait, actively wait for another door to open or for you to be shown what it is that you need to understand about what's right in front of you. To actively wait in a state of letting go. Now, when you allow yourself to do that, when you really have the courage just to be, and just witness the ego mind in its panic, holding yourself close in that not knowing. Be willing to let go of the need to understand and work it out, because you can't, because it's all here. Illusion, control is here. And come down into the heart and hold yourself. In that moment, you move out of separation. You move beyond the illusion of this third dimensional space. And you come into a state of real connection to that knowingness, that sacred knowingness and wisdom of yourself. But most importantly, you come into connection with the love, the authentic love that is waiting to embrace you. And there is nothing more glorious than that, where you're held in that state of love and peace, and everything falls away, all the intensity, and through the peace, you know everything is exactly right. No matter about the drama of the play out, I mean, the human drama is like an epidemic. It moves you beyond that drama where you start to, and not even start, you immediately start open to glimpsing something else that you would never have imagined seeing or experiencing in that moment. And this is you consciously choosing just to step to the side, away from it, choosing something other than the ego mind drama, choosing the realignment back to that spiritual higher self that is totally directing. It's totally directing. All that worry, all that anguish is for nothing. It's the drama, because everything is in hand for your perfect, divinely orchestrated journey. Nothing will stop that. That's the beauty of it. All that ego stuff, that drama, the ego mind, the control, the hanging on to all the illusion, does not stop your path from evolving and taking you where you ultimately will end up. That's the good news, that despite that ego mind drama and trying to control and hang on, it'll either be ripped away from you and the drama will magnify, or you can simply take a breath, let go, and open and walk freely through conscious choice in alignment with your ego, holding that human part with love and compassion. And step and move into the flow, the natural flow of love that exists within your path, your unique divine path, the beauty of you. And you are the gift to yourself and to humanity. You are the gift. As you allow yourself to breathe and let go, and just take in a moment, in that moment, holding yourself, step aside from the need to understand. Open into the truth, the moment that all is in hand, as it is. And that is a truth. All is in hand. And consciously choose not to be in the drama. And allow yourself to open into a state of receivership of your love, of the love that is contained in the pure moment when you consciously choose to step outside that drama. Thy will be done. Surrender. When you say those words, thy will be done, It's like a peace. It moves you into that space of that container where everything exists for you, where you can start to link into the essence of the moment. And in that peace, it's a peace that really elevates you beyond the illusion of this earth plane. It allows you to step forward and be in that state of receivership of the love. And that's what matters here. It's the love that heals. It's the love of yourself being revealed through you, that your life can unfold and you can link into a flow of your path and be much more consciously flowing in that movement of where you need to go that has no, doesn't necessarily make any sense third dimensionally. But that's irrelevant because we don't want to be linked into that illusion, that conflict. You want to be taken back to yourself, returning home. And it's linking into that truth space of yourself. Now, at this time on the planet, the Pleiadians were channeling through to me the other day, sharing with me this amazing new framework that is being birthed through every one of us here at this time, to enable us to move and align, to link into that higher aspect of ourselves much more easily. The illusion is breaking apart on the earth plane. It doesn't have the same hold on us that it had lifetimes or even earlier in this lifetime. Because this is the new dawning time for us to come home, to return home and take a much more complete role in our conscious unfolding. That's what we're doing here. So it's about letting go of the separation. And that is part of that is opening up and coming home to the human part. The Pleiadians say we came here to have a human experience and at the same time to evolve into our spiritual selves. That is our mission here. There is nothing else. Yes, we can be busy in the world. I can be out there in the world. I'm out there. But every moment I'm here with myself, allowing this unfolding process through me. This is my commitment. I'm aware of my human vulnerabilities. I'm loving that human part of myself. I'm accepting my idiosyncrasies. There's no perfection here. None. And that's a good thing because I've come here to have my human experience and to evolve. And gradually, as I get to know myself more and more, that higher self, that pure source energy, which is very simple these days. It's there. I am aligned. I am self-realized on many levels. That part has created a loving bridge, like a womb, to hold my human part, to assist me in the human aspect of my journey here. And that's what we must remember. We are to have a continuing human relationship here with ourselves and a human experience, but it can be a flow. It doesn't have to be hooked into the drama anymore. The ego mind assimilates. You know, my ego mind now is much more at peace, calm. We witness the drama around us. And we breathe, I let go. And I open into the experience, the learning experience that's there for me in the moment, that I created. We can all create some amazing things for our learning experiences here. It's true, and we are. With other relationships, with dynamics in our lives, all sorts of things, small and large. But the moment you're willing to open into the truth of the experience, not the emotional drama, And we may need to go to the emotional drama. Happens. Nothing wrong with that either. We're not perfect. But how long do you stay in that emotional drama? That's the question. Do you have one moment of it? 10 days? You know? Does it throw you into a tailspin where you just go down the chute, spiraling into the depth of despair? Sometimes. If that's what we need, if we need more moments of separation, how much separation do you need? Because in separation there's pain. There's despair. So you have to see where you're going with what process, and you can take a breath. Doesn't mean something isn't really sad, and you can feel the depth of the sadness, but do you make a drama out of it? Does it become this long, long drama that you tell the story over and over and over again? And does it spin over and over through your ego mind, making a case against somebody else or yourself, condemning yourself, hating yourself? Or do you hold yourself with that compassion and say, you know, I made a mistake? And you breathe and you let go, and you hold yourself with an understanding that mistakes happen, we're human. And do you look to the other person involved in the process with love and compassion? They're doing the best they can. It may not have been very good, but you know what? They did the best they could in the moment. And how long are you going to hold something against them? And as you do, guess what? You separate inside yourself. And you're in separation, out of alignment. And that ego mind, how it just creates a meal out of it, building the energy against. And as it does, you get more and more separated. And you know what? You can be in the middle of that and suddenly look at yourself and they go, what am I doing? Let me take a breath here and let go. It takes a moment to let go. And you almost laugh at yourself. Look at what I'm doing here. So that must have really hit something inside myself to make me that afraid that I had to make that person so wrong. And let me take a moment to feel compassion towards that part of myself that's so afraid. And let me explore what that fear was about, so I can understand that human part a little more and love myself a little more. These are our journeys, and it can happen really fast. It can go really fast because this new framework, this energetic framework that's anchoring through us, is to support our alignment to our higher selves, that higher intelligence, that pure part of ourselves that is really directing our lives and has us on the path we're supposed to be on. And the ego mind will say, I'm not supposed to be doing this. I'm supposed to be doing this, this, and this. The ego mind always has a plan. And it's usually what we're doing isn't okay. But where you are is exactly what you're exposed to be experiencing. We're never in the wrong place. It's impossible. You want to think you are, because God, I don't want to be in that situation. But the fact is you're in the perfect place to have your learning experience, to evolve one more time and understand that human element so you can rise into your higher aspect. We can't leave the human part behind, unresolved. And we know a lot of us have a lot of pain from the past. So you get an experience similar that creates that fear, maybe from being a little girl or a little boy. And it's intense. But if you think, okay, I'm having a strong experience right now in this illusion, but it's triggering this emotion that's so strong. Let me see if I can go back and identify the similar feeling. It may not be the same experience, but the feeling that's coming up is just like when I was that little girl all alone. Or I was betrayed when I was that little girl. And the moment you're willing to go and feel that feeling and go back to the moment and breathe and just be willing to receive that part of yourself, that vulnerable part, then guess what? The situation changes because it's no longer necessary. You've had your experience, so it just lifts off. And this is a very important part of our evolution right now. And it's happening fast. It can happen very fast. We don't have to be deep in pain for months and months and months. We can actually actively work with ourselves. And there's joy in that. There's liberation in that. That we get to evolve. This is a self-resurrection process. And that brings me right back to that experience I had with Christ on the Sea of Galilee, where he came to me and he said, when are you going to resurrect yourself? You've got yourself up on a cross. You came here to resurrect yourself in this lifetime. And this is about self-resurrection. This is part of the illusion that we're experiencing, but it's here, some of it for a reason. But the control, about trying to control, instead of letting go and saying, thy will be done, and allowing the higher self, that higher aspect of yourself, to come in. And then allowing yourself to step out of that illusion of the drama. And you'll see clearly and go, oh my gosh, that's what this is all about. Or your mind's trying to work something out and there's no way out. I'm locked in, there's no way out, no escape. I am in a situation I cannot get out of. But you step out of the drama and into that moment of yourself. And all of a sudden, guess what? The solution's right there, and it's always so simple. And you go, why didn't I think of that before? But you were here with the ego mind, and that ego mind does not have the answers. But if you align to that space of yourself through the heart, to that higher self, and you breathe and let go and say, no, I'm going to be quiet here. And I'm going to wait for the answer to be revealed to me. Not in a frenetic state in my mind, but sitting quietly, thy will be done. And in a moment, the truth, it's like the clouds lift, the sun comes out, and the light shines on the truth of things. And it's a simple, simple understanding of a path before you that you can take, where you feel all the doors are locked in front of you, but they aren't. That's the illusion. And then when you think you can control things with the ego mind, and I'm just going to make this happen and make that happen and make this happen, and I'm going to just stay here and do this. And you're in lockdown with yourself. And all you need to do is take a breath and let go. Go, okay, thy will be done. And when you say those words, you immediately start to align to that higher aspect of yourself and say, I can't do this alone. Because it makes you feel alone and desperate. Just you and the ego mind is a disaster. It's a disaster. But if you call on the help and you realize, I cannot do this alone, and you never were meant to do this alone, that's part of that illusion of trying to control everyone around you and everything. And when you just take the breath and let go and open to that, thy will be done, you align into that higher knowingness, and the peace descends, and you get the clarity and the truth of the moment. And that's our time for this. It's time. This is a revolutionary time of self-resurrection, of consciously choosing yourself. I choose me. And you are that spiritual self. And when you choose that, even for one moment at a time, not trying to do it all the time, it's not going to happen. You're human. You're going to move in and out of a separated experience until you don't need to separate anymore. So just understand, it's not about, oh gosh, here I go again, oh, I'm just a failure. No, here I am having another experience of separation, and what is it that I need to understand about this event so I can move on? And be actively working with yourself in that process and celebrating, because guess what? You can do that. There's nothing in your way to stop you from learning about yourself and moving on. You are in control, real control. That's control. That's being. That's actively being in your life and being fully engaged, not in fear and locked down. That's not control. That's not real control. But stepping forward and opening up, thy will be done, and surrender. And the surrender is just by linking into the heart space. That moves you from here, where you get this headache and tension, to here. And your energy comes here into the heart space. That's where the natural reconnections lie. So the muscle of the ego mind has been like this, and the heart's been like this. Now we need to come here to the full heart and build that heart muscle that aligns you back to source, to your flow, to the sacred aspect of the love. And you bring that love, yes, into your life. That's the focus, you. There is only one focus, you, here, where you are. That's you. And when you focus on yourself in the moment and allow the love to come in, it comes into the full cells of the body, really allowing for self-healing. That's really part of the element. I mean, for myself, I had advanced systemic lupus 30 years ago now. You know, I was given a few months to live, and that's when I had my awakening. And that's when the love of myself came into the cells and I was healed. And I've been symptom-free for that time. But I do know the moment I go into a separated state and I don't actively work with that, in a short time I can start to get a cold, a flu, something. Because my body says, pay attention here, something's going on. It goes into my physical body. So it's very important to breathe, to let go, and to take in the love. The grandness of the love that you are. And they're not just loose words. You know, for years we've talked about the love and do this and do that. And you go, you know, what does this mean? This is different now. This is a different time. And our access to ourselves, to that sacred part of ourselves, is right there. The veils are very thin now. This is our time for reconnection and this self-introspection, the healing of that human part and the liberation of carrying those burdens of responsibility and shoulds and the guilt, the shame, the energy of the past life now of what you've been carrying is starting to lift off all of us. We're not carrying that same karma energy that we've had for lifetimes. This is a different lifetime from any we've lived on planet Earth before, ever. This is the lifetime where there is self-resurrection and illumination of connection to ourselves, where we start to move into the sacred beingness of our lives, and in that flow, in the knowingness, not where we've in the past been in that illusion of control, of thinking we know where we're going, what we're doing. We don't know. That's the truth. We don't know. It's a moment by moment sacred unfolding that's taking place, because the truth is, in the moment is the only place we're truly alive and connected. There is nothing else. There's no such thing as time. That's the biggest illusion, another big illusion on this earth plane, that we think there's a structure of time, but there isn't. There's no past, there's no future. In the moment exists everything, and all that you are. The full blueprint of yourself is in the moment. And so we can only be with that which is right in front of us and receive that fully. But when you do that, it's like a sacred light opens up. There's a multidimensionality to the moment that is unlimited, and that's part of your unlimited, my unlimited form of my sacred self. I am unlimited. I am pure light. That is me. I am the love. You are the love. And together we come to a sacred synergy of that force of ourselves. That's what we're doing here. That's why this community is so important. This is why I was told I had to be here. And I'm playing a role, a piece, but in that I am evolving with you, and you are evolving with me. We're not separate. We're unique in our love. And so it's about opening the door wide to your own sacred peace. Moving beyond that ego-mind control that is tireless, we know, just goes on and on and on and on with its questions and its statements. But we as individuals can witness that. Witness the question. You can't shut it off. People go, oh, it just keeps going. Yes, it does. But what you do is breathe. You say, no, it's not the time right now because I'm doing this. I am not my ego mind. I'm linking into the part of myself that is that flow, that is part of the connected force of who I am, of that higher nature, who is truly holding me and that human element with love. And I take my step through conscious choice back towards that which I am, into a state of full receivership. And I give over not knowing. I let go of the need to understand. And I open to the sacred of thy will be done. And that is enough, and I am enough in that. I take my place. I take my place here, right now, with all of you, and that is a sacred moment for me. Because there is nothing else existing right now but you and me, and as I open into that, I feel the depth of the love of Christ, of Mary, of my sacred connection, of who I am. And as I do that, I transmit the platform out for each one of you to more easily step into who you are. Because as I look out, I can see all of your sacred energies. That's part of my gift. I look out and I see the love and the connection of your sacredness. I also see the human aspect that needs that sacred part of yourself to be held, to be loved. You are who you've been waiting for all along. It's been you you've been waiting for, not anyone else. And it's through that sacred, pure aspect of yourself that you become the gift. And you bring that human element, which is also a really sacred part. And that sacred human part of you, as it can evolve and feel more loved and supported in the arms of yourself, can be finer and really honoured for the courage of the journey, of all the collective journeys we've had for lifetimes. But this lifetime, we have been lucky enough to be here. We have said yes to being here, and it was a privilege to come onto planet Earth at this time for this evolution, because as the Pleiadians say, we're not going to be leaving our bodies like we normally would for the reconnection to our source. We will be staying in these physical bodies in this lifetime and reconnecting to our sacred natures. They say this is going to take place in this lifetime for all of us here. Because it's simply the time, not because how grand we are, because the ego mind would love to make a story, we're just so wonderful and special, that yes, we're the elite, and we're not. It's the time. It's the sacred time. It's part of the plan on this earth plane in this lifetime for this to happen, for us to become that sacred again. But to also, and not but, and to have our human experience of evolution. This is a sacred experience, and it's a step away, just about letting go of that illusion of the ego, of all of that energy. That really, it's just simply the time to step aside and open into that energy of thy will be done. Let's just take another breath. Just letting some of that go, because we have the very, very beautiful energies here to support this transition. And it's each one of us has the journey and the transition to make. One is not more than the other. You can't say, well, I'm a victim. You are not a victim. You never have been a victim. You have called forward for you to have a series of experiences to evolve and self-resurrect yourself from. Suffering is suffering. Isolation is isolation. And so this is also an important aspect of not being a victim, but simply opening up to what you have experienced up to this point in your lives as a human being, and where you are now and what's happening around you right now. And it might be like you're in dire straits. Things are not going well. You may be struggling a lot. So start witnessing the individual elements of where in your life it's so hard. And hold that human part and start just working with the feeling that it creates inside of you, the fear it creates inside of you. Be willing to meet the depth of the feeling that the situations unfold for you. And then don't go into the drama. The emotion is clean. You can feel the emotion. But don't go into building that story with your mind. And then take a breath and come into your heart with that whole process that is deeply troubling or painful for you. Bring it into the sacred source of the heart and call forth the higher part of yourself. And breathe and let go. And don't try and sort out the solution. Just let it be in thy will be done. And open up into that space, that sacred space. Not trying to get a result, because the ego mind will say, I want an answer now. No, I am willing to let go and be in this sacred space, and that being enough. And you just breathe it through. And just breathe it through. And keep saying, thy will be done. And just breathe through the feeling. And just actively wait. And let it be. I am. I am. And just keep letting go and surrendering, not with a story, just with that. And just allow an evolution to wash through you, almost like being bathed by a peaceful light, a balm, to just patch the wounds, the raw places within you. And honor and witness yourself in that. Take yourself like a precious, precious thing and hold yourself. And just keep breathing and letting go through that whole space of the experience. And just keep letting go and just being and just being. And you'll feel the force of the love coming in. And just don't try and work it out. Don't try and understand it. Just allow the being to take place through you and with you. Thy will be done. Just take another breath. I am. Take another breath. That's it. We allow the sacred of ourselves to come in a state of receivership, just receiving that which comes in. And the ego mind will say, well, that's not going to fix the problem. You just take a breath. You don't worry about it. And you just breathe again and breathe again. And just allow that moment to open and expand through you. And just be with that. And it doesn't have to make sense. Not to the ego mind, it won't make sense. But when you allow that yourself to come back to that space of being, then you will find that it won't make any sense, but suddenly the issue may not be there anymore. It's like it dissolves and you go, well, where did it go? Nothing's changed, but everything will have changed. You allow the magic to re-enter your life, the sacred. You just invite it in and say, thy will be done. This is mine. I receive it. I am. All of this, I am. Not desperately. Just letting go and allowing the bathing of the sacred truth through you. And it moves you beyond that illusion, that need to hold on and try and control and try and work it out on the level that cannot possibly support you. So I just want to just bring some energy through. Just Mother Mary's very strongly here with her pure, pure light. Just breathe. That's it. So be it. Amen. Thank you, everyone.
Good morning, and I have been writing, so I have another new song for you this morning, and I feel it will be perfect for after Christine's talk because it's called Breathe, which I think I heard that word quite a few times this morning. Mountains move, the waters part, all of the world is a work of art. Breathe in, breathe out, let the spiral dance follow its divine route. And when life has taken you down to your knees and you feel there's nowhere to turn, oh, breathe, breathe, just breathe and know that life is leading you to places and spaces that hold your truth. Breathe in, breathe out, let the spiral dance follow its divine route. And when life has taken you up to its heights and you feel so free, oh, breathe, breathe, just breathe and know that life is moving you to places and spaces that hold your truth. Breathe in, breathe out, let the spiral dance follow its divine route. Mountains move, the waters part, all of the world is a work of art. Breathe in, breathe out, let the spiral dance follow its divine route.
So let's just take a breath right now as we open up to this amazing circle of love. Each one of you within this circle, each one of us carries our own unique frequency of the divine. And we have the presence of Mother Mary blessing us and blessing this beautiful circle. And we create this circle that can go outwards and touch those people outside this space, right across the country to all individuals. So let's just take a breath and let go and just allow ourselves to open into this frequency of the purest light through the sound. Yo Whee!